And now, I shall resurrect Slifer the Sky Dragon!
Oh man, he just brought back an Egyptian god!
Slifer's attack points are determined by the number of cards in my hand. And since I'm holding 4, he now has 4,000 points!
Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac. Guys, yeah, it's about time. We're like on the final lines of the saga. We have still 3 deck profiles to go. Namely the one from the person right before you, the playmat that you might see, or based on the camera is currently focused on. Alister. Then Raphael, and then Dartz, and then we are finished with this arc. But before we get into it, just like a couple of background information first, like always. Raphael is from the, you might say, Elite 4 of the member of Dartz. Clearly the weakest one, since he, I mean about like Raphael Valen, and there will be no Valen deck profile. Because we are lacking almost every card. I mean, like, it's just like existing 2 cards from him. So, yeah. All the Big Bang Shot and all the... I think Big Bang Shot and My Body as Shield, the only 2 spell cards that... besides the Seal of Orichalcos, of course. So 3 cards in total that are existing from his deck. But none of the monsters, the helmet monsters and the... like engine armor monsters, none of them exists in the TCG. So yeah, we have to skip that deck profile, unfortunately, due to the fact that I don't want to make a pure anime deck profile. On the one hand, sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired, and then on the other hand, I had to buy them because I cannot like print them out or something like that. It will be another matter with Dartz because from his deck, also not all cards are existing, but like maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 are existing. But I did buy the Dartz deck, the deck box, or the Dartz box, better to say, and there will be his cards in there, and some of his main monsters I got already, like the Heavenly Snake, it is called, and Orichalcos Suneros, my absolute favorite card of his monster cards, and so there will be a possibility to build his deck. And there will also be a box opening, so we will be finding out what we have in his deck. Maybe there will be also some additional cards. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. You just see them for yourselves if we are about to burst this door, you might say. Yeah, what can I say about Asa? As I said, he's clearly the weakest of the duelists from the Elite 4 Orichalcos members. I'm talking about Dartz, Raphael, Valen, and Alister himself, this gentleman right here, because he didn't win any of his duels against our heroes. He had 2 duels against Kaiba. One was a draw, and the other one he lose. Whereas, for example, Valen did beat Duke, Devlin, and Rebecca Hawkins at the same time. And then also managed almost beating Joey Wheeler, but he lost, yeah, I know. And Raphael even defeated the Pharaoh almost twice, because the second duel, he just defeated himself, you might say. Not attempt defeated him, but he paid too much life points in order to revive his monsters from the graveyard, and then he lost on purpose, you might say. So yeah, Raphael is, after my opinion, the most powerful duelists that the whole arc saw. I mean, no one defeated Yugi nor Atem and the whole Duel Monsters era, except for once Kaiba, but he threatened to kill himself, so that it was just blackmailing. It doesn't count. So yeah, Alister is the weakest of the three. So what can I say about his deck? His deck is clearly departed or split into two halves. One being the machines that resembles his trauma, or like working out his trauma, which he had from the machines of presumably Gazaburo Kaiba, who destroyed that hometown, and along with it his brother was taken or kidnapped. It was said. I think it was. I don't know about the translation in the dub. What was in reality? It was like I think he was injured or something like that. And the other one, it was killed. But in this one, in the original dub, it was he was killed, and in this one, it was like he was kidnapped or something like that. But anyways, yeah, it resembles his trauma, losing his brother and being a refugee, fleeing, living into rubble and waiting for death. So this is a resemblance on also its machine monsters. On the other side, the other part of his deck, stick with fire and fiend type monsters, and of course the seal of orichalcos mirrors his anger, rage, and his passion for revenge, in order to, defeat or even annihilate the whole of the Kaiba tribe. In order to, revenge his brother being lost or killed even. He doesn't even know it, at least not in the anime and the English and German dub. So let's just dive into it. Another thing, it was a little bit difficult to build this deck because the Sky Fortress Ziggurat doesn't exist in the TCG, but I took one monster which is comparable to that one, and I will then tell you guys, of course, and then I kind of exchanged it for that, and but there are other monsters as well which do exist, and others which I had to exchange, like the KC. There's a monster that he got in his deck which is a tank, but I could exchange them with others. So what I would now suggest is just like dive into it, and we can then talk a little bit about it. So I had an idea around this deck. So first off, I put in there, like I said, I wanted to exchange some monsters. I put in there Overdrive for the KC, I don't know, it's a KC tank, I think it was called. Overdrive, also a tank, a machine type monster as well, Earth attribute and 4 stars, 1600 attack and 1700 defense, to start off the whole shenanigans. Then Oni tank T34, Earth attribute 4 stars, machine type 1400 attack, 1700 defense. Another of those possibilities to exchange. I think this card was played out by Duke Devlin and also maybe from Nesbit in the Virtual World Art, but I'm not sure. Then I have one card 3 times, which his deck was a little bit based around, which was Science Soldier. He had it on a couple of his spell cards and trap cards, and of course he possessed also this card. Dog attribute 3 stars, a warrior type, 800 attack and 800 defense. That's why I put this one as a 3-off in here, because it also looks like kind of like these soldiers which were fighting against the civilians in his trauma, or in his past, you might say, that led to his trauma ultimately. And another one of those 3 was Kinetic Soldier, here as a rare from the champion pack, by the way. Earth attribute 4 stars and machine type, 1350 attack and 1800 defense, so also a good defensive posture. Its effect works like that. If this card battles with a warrior type monster, you can increase the attack or defense of this card during damage step by 2000 points. So very good against the warrior deck to play out. And super rare version also, I got this, of course. This will be also 3 of in here. Gives it also very good playability in general, because like 1800 defense. It will be strengthening your defense position, as I already mentioned. The third monster in this row is the Cyber Soldier of Dark World, which he already possessed, also possessed. Dark Attribute 4 stars, machine type, 1400 attack, 1200 defense. Also as a 3 of course, from the tournament pack 1. I think it only exists in this set, but not 100% certain. Maybe I'll have to do a little bit research still. So these were the 3 monsters that existed in spell and trap cards, and that was based around. It was a little bit based this deck around the theme. And then I have 3 cards which resemble a little bit his darker side, his lust for power, passion, and revenge. First off is I just exchanges, because the Gorlak monster which he got doesn't exist in the TCG, so also make the exchanges with Casimolor, a fiend type monster, dark attribute 3 stars, 1000 attack and 1200 defense, and its effect works like that. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It gains attack equal to its original attack. Also, during the end phase of the next turn, destroy that face-up monster. So it has a downside to boost the attack stats of your opponent's monster, but also then destroys it. And if you do, your opponent takes damage equal to half its original attack at the start of your opponent's battle phase. You can tribute this normal summon set card in order then your opponent's monsters cannot attack directly for the rest of the turn. So good, you might say destruction as well as burn damage engine, and then of course give them also a blocking engine for your opponent in order that it cannot attack. Then I gave him Stray Asmodean because like he had fire type monsters, or he had one fire type monster explicitly, which was of course Gorlak. Fire type 3 stars, fiend fire attribute, fiend type, 1300 attack, 1700 defense. Also got some burn mechanics in here. If this card has been destroyed due to battle and put to the graveyard, both players get 800 damage. So you might see this as a downside, but I think because we have some burn engines in here, it is rather the downside for your opponent than for you. Then the Baki, also fire attribute, fiend type monster, 1700 attack, 1100 defense, and also a similar effect to Stray Asmodean. If this card is destroyed by battle due to your opponent's monster, then and brought to the graveyard, both players get 500 damage. Yeah, if you combine those 3, clearly the one having a bigger downside is the opponent, of course. Then, continuing with machines, Search Striker. I think this one is even maybe a 5D's card, but yes, still it fits in here. It's a wind attribute 4 stars and warrior type. Oh, machine types. Oh, it's like machine types. The you might say the machine-like monsters, because Sign Soldier is also like a machine, but yeah, it's a warrior. So warrior type, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. If this card attacks a monster in face down defense position, you can destroy the face down defense position monster immediately without applying damage calculation and without flipping it face up. And if you do, this card will be switched as the defense position at the end of this turn. Battle positions of this card cannot be changed until your till the next end phase, except due to a card effect. So also a very good engine, a little bit like Sasuke Samurai, but also with the change of positions. So this card is then has also protective mechanics in here. Yeah, a little bit like Goblin Attack Force or Spear Dragon. Okay, continuing. BM4 Blast Spider, which is a little bit alluding to Bandit Keith. It's dark to his, I don't know how it says, launching spider that he had. But this one is a dark attribute 4 stars machine type, of course. 1400 attack, 2200 very strong defense, helping our defense, of course. And its effect works like that. Once per turn, you can choose one dark machine type monster that you control and one face-up card that your opponent controls. You can destroy both. If a monster that you control that was originally one dark machine type monster or more or destroyed one or more monsters of your opponent due to card effect or battle, you can put damage equally to half of the base attack of one of the monsters that's been destroyed and brought to the graveyard, and that's a once per turn effect. Very strong card, guys, don't you think? With the defense 2200 and that very strong effect, you can destroy one and your opponent's monster and your monster, but it has to be a dark attribute and machine type. So we have one dark attribute and machine type right here, and these three. But the main monster, which is the replacement for the Sky Fortress Cigarette, also is a dark machine type monster. It fits very well. Next up is Petrol Robo, an Earth attribute machine type, 1100 attack, 900 defense, and its effect works like that. During your standby phase, you can look at one face down card that's been set by your opponent, as long as this card remains face up on the field. So a little spy engine right here. You can a little bit look into your tactics and strategies of your opponent by looking at one card that is face down. Then Search Lightman, a light type 3 stars, a machine light attribute machine type, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, but it's got a flip effect. Your opponent cannot set face down any cards for the rest of the turn. Very, very handy effect right there. Love that. Then I did import, you might say, 2 cards from the OCG, because these cards are not existing in the TCG, but yeah, I thought they fit the theme very well. One is, I think this is called Fiend Cyber. It's an Earth attribute, 1600 attack, 1300 defense, but still 5 stars, so a little bit downside. You might let it out, of course. And Cyber Soldier, which also have 5 stars and is a dark attribute machine type, so also fits with the BM4 Launcher Spider. Yeah, 5 stars, 1500 attack, and 1700 defense machine type, and a dark attribute. But yeah, the downside is of course the 5 stars in here. Yeah, I did put it there, I think, a little engine for that problem, but yeah, we will come to that later on. Then a card which he played out, and that was first time that I saw or witnessed that was a couple of years ago, because back in the days as I witnessed or watched the orichalcos arc, I didn't quite remember this one, but there was a Spell Counselor in his deck. That's a card from Magician's Force, an ultra rare, which I thought is a little bit the counterpart to Jinzo, because it blocks all spell cards. It's a wind attribute, 5 stars, 1800 attack, 1600 defense, but machine type. And it works like that. As long as this card remains face up on the field, all spell cards cannot be activated. The effects of all faces up spell cards are also negated. Like Jinzo, just with spell cards, which is in the currently meta very powerful as well. More even than Jinzo, because trap cards are not playing that big of a role anymore. But yeah, spell cards do. Yeah, very powerful card, and still card from back in the day from Magician's Force. And he had that card. He played it out against Kaiba as they were, and said to Kaiba as they were on the plane. Then, last but not least, my exchange for the Sky Fortress Sigurith was the Fiendish Engine Alpha. Similar stats like Sigurith. I think Sigurith had a little bit more attack, but I'm not sure about that anymore. But it's a dark attribute and machine type, so also working with the launcher, BM Force launcher spiders effect. 2800 attack, 2000 defense. And now the effect is a little bit comparable to that of Sigurith. During the end phase, summon one machine token, machine attribute, earth attribute, machine type, level 1, attack 200, attack 200 defense. As a special summon in face-up attack position, and once per turn you can give this card 1000 attack, and if you do it, it's been destroyed during the end phase. So also a good tactic if it's necessary to like win the duel or turn the tides, you might say. But always you can during the end phase always summon one of those machine tokens, so a little bit comparable to the Sky Fortress Sigurith. So guys, this is my monster lineup. I hope you guys like it. You can maybe make a picture or something like that. I give it 5 seconds. You might pause right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We were now at the monster cards, and now let's get into the spells. By the way, the Petrol Robo, which I got here, is a tournament pack card that's pretty expensive. I think like at least $15. Even the rare version is very expensive, but the super rare version is even like 25 or $20, something like that. So there you go. Let's get into the spells. First up, I gave him one limiter removal. A quick spell card which doubles the attack of all machine monsters you currently control until the end of the turn, but during the end phase they are all destroyed. So a little bit downside, but also this card can be a victory or one turn kill if you have your opponent on the ropes. Then I gave him a machine assembly line, one continuing spell card. All machine monsters on the field gain 200 attack each time a face-up machine monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect. Place 2 junk counters on this card, which fits like, I think he had a junk card that was called junk something. You can send this card to the graveyard and take one machine monster in your graveyard whose level is less than or equal to the number of junk counters that were on this card, special summon to target. So also very good with the boosting engine, and then also we can special summon then a one machine type monster, so also giving a good surprising tactics effect that might be even essential. Then I have one machine defense line, also a continuous spell card like this one, and it works like that. As long as you have one machine type monster with level 7 or higher or control that you control, monsters of your opponent cannot target machine type monsters of you with level 6 or fewer that you control. Additionally, your opponent cannot choose them as a target for card effects. If one face-up machine-type monsters or more that you control are destroyed due to battle or a card effect, you can choose one machine-type monster from your graveyard and put it to your hand. This is once per turn effect. So very strong effect. Giving us the possibility to protect our machine-type monsters. Level 6 or fewer, almost all of the deck is consisting of machine-type monsters. And then given even the possibility to once per turn special summon one machine-type monster. Very powerful card and very key to this deck, and this, giving this strategy a very powerful engine. And then I have machine-type tank unit in here, which is also a permanent spell card. Once per turn, if a machine monster has been destroyed and brought to the graveyard, you can choose one machine-type monster with the same attribute, with the same type, and with fewer attack stats as the destroyed monster from your graveyard, and then special summon from your deck. So not having just a graveyard engine like that one, but an engine that can special summon monsters from your deck. Also very good. Also a permanent spell card, helping that deck very much. Then I have autonomous action unit, a equipped spell card, which if you pay 1,500 life points, you choose one monster from the graveyard of your opponent, special summon it from on your side of the field and face up attack position, and equip it to this card. If the card leaves the field, then you can this card leaves the field to destroy the monster. But it's very good because it can like rob a strong monster from your opponent's graveyard, which might be one of the core strategies of his deck, for example, and then maybe turn the tables on him. Then I have Nitro unit, also an equipped spell card. You can choose one monster on your side of on the side of the field of your opponent, equip it to that monster. If a monster that is equipped to this card has been destroyed by battle, you can put effect damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. Very good engine as well, helping that burn damage to go through. Then 2-for-1 repair job. Banish one dark machine monster from a graveyard. We do have a couple of dark machine type monsters in here. So then special summon one monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard that mentions engine token. Of course, a reference to our engine, Fiendish Engine Alpha. Send it to the graveyard. Where was I? If you face up dark machine monster you control, sent to the graveyard, except by battle while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step. You can banish this card, special summon one engine token, machine, type earth, attribute level 1, attack 200 defense, attack 200 and 200 defense. Attack position, you can use 2-for-1 repair job effect per turn, only once that turn. Helping our Fiendish Engine token and that strategy. Yeah, working like that. Along with it. Then, of course, we do have the Seal of Orichalcos in here, which is like the darkest piece of his soul. Alister's rage was even that big during the battle as he saw the helicopter of Sadokaiba, that he the Orichalcos, Seal of Orichalcos went haywire and skyrocketed with this energy, glowing and making strong winds. So this is the field spell card for that, the Seal of Orichalcos. I don't need to explain any of the effect, of course not, because most of you guys already saw all the other deck profiles, or of course saw also the anime. Then I have one cost down for the 2 OCG cards which are imported, because they have just strong weak attack stats, and for that reason no effect whatsoever. For that reason, of course, you can downgrade all monsters, and I think in your hand by 2, and then until the end phase, of course. Even after they are summoned, so also working with that, you can then normal summon them without tributing. One emergency provisions, which I think was seen in his hand. Quick play card. Oh, sorry. A quick spell card, which of course works like that. Send any number of other spell and trap cards you control to the graveyard. Gain 1000 life points for each card sent. So also a little bit countermeasure against the downsides of a Baki and Stray Asmodean's burn damage that you might get. Reserve Troop, as also permanent spell card. Every time if your opponent by a card effect of your opponent one attack by his monsters, you get 1000 damage points damage or more, then you can draw one card per 1000 damage, so it's very good for draw power in here. One Monster Reborn. I don't need to explain this one. You might look it up. Sorry guys. One Snatch Steal. Why not put this in here in order to like maybe take away one strong monster from your opponent. Ultra Rare from the Magic Ruler. It was still Magic Ruler. Of course, you can take one control of your opponent's face-up monsters, and your opponent gains 1000 life on each of his or standby phases. Of course, this downside, but yeah, we can do with it whatever we want. Pot of Greed for the wrong power. I think he put this out against Seto Kaiba in the first duel. Maybe it was the second. I'm not sure. By the way, if you're wondering why there are no Pegasus cards in here, because those were Pegasus cards and not not Alister's cards. He just used them in order to have the effect that he would be. He would seem to be Pegasus, but he wasn't. Then two cards, there was a couple of cards which existed in the anime, but not in the TCG, neither the OCG, I think. So what I did, I exchanged a lot of those cards. I think there were 7 or 8 in total. And two of them were, I think one of them was called Atonic's Flame, and the other one, I think, Fire Whip, card which support fire monsters. So what I did, I did exchange one of them with Phoenix Gerblade, or I don't know, is it a sword? How it is called in English? An equip spell card. You can equip one warrior or fire type monster with this card. It gets 300 attack, and at the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster did attack, you can put this card to the graveyard. During your battle phase, one of your warrior or fire type monsters can attack twice or a second time in a row. If this card has been brought to the graveyard or banished due to a monster effect, you can put this card from there to your back to your hand, so from graveyard or from banishment. So also a good recycle effect, and also a good offensive effect for attacks. And I put there a Salamander because, of course, another fire supporting it engine. I would love to try this deck out, so it's ain't that bad. Equip spell card, of course, from Joey Wheeler. Fire monster equipped with this card increases its attack by 700 points. So this is my spell lineup. You might take a picture if you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's get into trap cards, because I have also some trap cards in store for you guys. The first one is also leaning a little bit on the last duel from Seto Kaiba and Alister, which is Aerial Recharge, because we're fighting on an airplane. It's a continuous trap card, and it also works with that token engine which Alister had. Once per turn, you can special summon one mecha, phantom beast token. Attack machine, attribute wind, level 3, attack 0 and defense 0 as a special summon. During the end phase of each player, you have to offer one token or mecha phantom beast as a tribute, or you have to put this card into the graveyard. So of course also a little downside right there, but still with the token engine in here we can do a little bit. Also have help boost our defense. Pole position also with the tanks on it, with the 2 tanks that I have in this deck. And also get general with tanks. He had also some trap and spell cards, I think, with those tanks on it. A continuous trap card. Face up monsters with the highest attack on onto the field are unaffected by any spell cards. If pole position has been removed, you destroy the monster with the highest attack on the field. Can be, of course, helping you. Also a little bit addition to spell counters effect, and then when spell counters are removed, you still can protect your monsters if you're like in the pole position, like the card says, with your offense. And then if you're like brought to the defense maybe, and this card is destroyed, then the highest monster can be destroyed also. It couldn't be then your opponent's, but it could also be yours, so it can be a little downside. One backup soldier, which I think he had maybe, but I'm not sure. But helping the normal monsters, which you have, a couple of them in here. If you have, it works like that. If you have 5 or more monsters in your graveyard, you can choose up to 3 non-effect monsters with 1,500 attack or fewer in your graveyard and put into your hand. Of course, the 3 Science Soldiers and the 3 Cyber Soldiers of the Dark World are all normal monsters. So I think also we have also the Fiend Cyber and the Cyber Soldier, which are normal monsters. So yeah, in total we have 8 in here. Of course, only tank T34 and Overdrive, so 10 in here. So yeah, it's really relevant in helping you. Then I put in there a security orb, also a little bit alluding to that machine engine. Activate only when your opponent's monster declares an attack. Change the battle position of that monster. When this face down card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by the effect of spell, trap card, your opponent controls destroy 1 monster on the field. So also a good protective invention in here. Then one card which he played out, which was Royal Decree. Also a little addition to the spell counter spell blocking effect, and you had Royal Decree permanent trap card, which of course negates all other trap cards on the field. So a good combination of both. Then I put in there one Red Rebuke, a good counter trap, which also alludes a little bit to that machine theme. When your opponent activates the trap card, negate the activation. If you do, set that card face down. Then they can send one other trap card directly from their deck. For the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate the trap card. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points, which is a risk, but also 1 hand trap in here. Why not? Then I have a Crusher run, also working a little bit with that tank, leaning on that tank theme and topic in here. Also in permanent trap. If a face-up Earth machine monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. And the other second effect is a little bit special for a theme deck, but yeah, we just ignore it. And last but not least, I have Damage Vaccine Alpha Max. All the damage that you get from a battle or due to a card effect, you get equal life points increased due to the damage that you got. So this is it. This is my, I think, 45 cards deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like, the subscribe button, guys. Show me some love. Support the channel. Stay tuned for more content of this kind. And as always, we will continue. We'll be continuing that very arc. I had very much fun building these decks. I have to admit that. Raphael's deck is a little bit chaotic still because he has those guardian monsters, and to make a little bit of playable deck is very quite difficult because we do not have the backup gardener in the TCG, but which I thought I might do, because I do have also his anime cards. I might build one pure a mixture of TCG and anime cards, and then maybe a second version in which I would just build a deck based on all the TCG cards, because I want to also have a playable TCG Raphael deck in here, in order to make it playable for you guys. Yeah, and you have at least fun with your friends, but maybe it's also something for the GOAT format, I don't know. At least for the Genesis format. So yeah, that's why I want to put some effort in it and endeavor. Yeah, I will be having very much fun building a Raphael deck, because I'm quite on the end stage of building it, but there are some additions to make, at least for the anime version that I will be putting out. One will be, then I will maybe call it then version 1, and then there will be also version 2. And last but not least, of course, we will be concluding with Dartz at the end. So this is it, guys. As always, I hope you guys a good morning, a good evening, good afternoon, good midday, good night, whenever and wherever you might witness this one. This is me, yours, Life Maniac, and a big peace.